to HOB TV. We're excited for today's episode. Like mentioned last week, we have a special guest today. First, we want to start off as well for thanking those that have subscribed, those that are commenting, those that are viewing. Thank you guys. And if you're watching for the first time, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and stay in tune with us. Like I said, today we have a very special guest here, and I'm going to pass it over to my boy Steve and give him that proper intro.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to HOB TV, episode 14. Now, the man sitting to my left first came to prominence on season 1 of NBC's reality boxing series, The Contender. It was there where he displayed his signature grit, desire, and the willingness to fight anyone in any weight class, as he demonstrated by scaling up 2 weight classes from welter to middleweight, all for a shot of competing on the show. A quintessential underdog, Afonso Gomez would go on to score upsets over legends Arturo Gatti and Jose Luis Castillo, while never shying away from the most difficult of challenges in a prime Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez. All in all, his resume reads as a who's who of current former world champions, 17 to be exact. Although we last saw him in the ring 4 years ago while defeating the tough Yoshimiro Kambagai, he's finished there. This September, he returns to resume his 18-year career to sport. Here to talk about where he's going next in his career, as long as where he's been, one of the true warriors of the sport, Alfonso S. Gomez. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Alfonso, welcome, HOB TV.
Yep.
So it's official, you're coming back in September against to be announced. What prompted this decision, and who are some of the names you're eyeing? There's been some back and forth with Omar Chavez, we understand, on social media. Let us know who you're eyeing.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for this. House of Boxing is already a household name in the boxing world, and I am so happy you guys, were able to push it into, the whole online world and have House of Boxing TV. What's meant to be. So thank you for that. Thank you for the interview, and I'm glad to be here. Now, to answer your question, I just decided to wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to come back to boxing. And I did. And it's that easy. And, basically, look, I came back to boxing mainly to wake up a lot of boxers to a lot of things in their lives, in boxing, in their sport, that ultimately is going to make them happier. Happier to be what they're doing. I grew up as a boxer, not being too happy with what I had to do, because the mentality that they feed us might not be the best one to do it in terms of, making the fighter grow more and feel happier and, explore that feeling that obviously generates more positive outcomes in your life,
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah, man. So definitely is Omar Chavez someone that you're interested in coming back and fighting? Because I seen, I'm not sure if it's his Instagram or Twitter.
Right.
He's mentioned you. He's mentioned you're one of those guys that he possibly wants to fight.
Well, that's the thing with this coming back. A lot of boxers, they think they need somebody to help them get fights, right?
Exactly.
But I think we are in an era where we have the ability that we didn't have that before. Not even in my era when I was fighting, coming down to Contender. We still needed certain people to help us get those fights. When it comes to Omar Chavez, for example, that you're asking about him, I decided to wake up one day and say, I'm going to come back to boxing, but I want to do it differently. I want to do it with the help of the people, with the help of the guys that love boxing, the ones that, ultimately are the ones feeding boxing to be alive, in one sense. And I started asking questions online. I started to go online and started going in there and say, who do you guys want me to fight? And out of those names, it came, I guess, the good names, the reasonable names, the logical names were Brandon Rios, Victor Ortiz, Omar Chavez, who you mentioned, El Inocente Alvarez, and so forth. Yeah. So within this poll that I did, these guys came up. Omar Chavez found out that I was putting him in a poll. So he kind of came on Twitter and said, hey, you don't have to do no polls. Let's just do this once and for all. And I was like, yes, it's working.
Yeah.
In reality, it's working. It was part of the plan. So yeah, definitely Omar Chavez is out there wanting to do, and I'm so happy because I'll give you news. Today I spoke to Guillermo and Pepe, who are the main guys that handle the fights, the promoters, everything's moving forward, and it's potentially going to be Omar Chavez from
Nice.
to that fight.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Omar Chavez. We hope so, man. I mean, you're definitely an exciting fighter. I mean, you definitely don't shy away from any challenge, and I mean, you produce great fights, man. And I'm hoping this fight happens, right?
Well, definitely, it'll be another name to add to the resume
Of
of
course.
big names
Impressive
and
resume.
noticeable. And it'll be awesome, just to be
Yeah.
with Chavez, his dad, dude. I love his dad. I grew up watching
yeah,
him.
yeah, everyone does, right? Yeah.
El gran campeón mexicano y mundial.
Yeah, right?
I know, dude, come on.
Yeah.
So being in that with him, it'll be sick.
I think you're destined to fight the whole Chavez family, brother, because
Yeah.
you're scheduled to fight Chavez Jr.,
That's
Omar
true.
Chavez.
Yeah.
You want to call out the dad?
Yeah.
Papa Chavez? Or no?
No, with all respect to that, not at all. I'm just gonna be so happy if that fight does happen. I'm very gonna be so happy that it actually goes from being asleep one day and waking up, imagining something, doing it, pursuing it, and if it happens, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a testimony that anything you put into your mind, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Alfonso, of course, you were being trained by your father, Afonso Gomez Sr. He was in the corner for your last fight against Kamagai. How's he doing? How's your pops doing? And is he going to be back in your corner for this latest run for your comeback?
Oh, very good. Well, he's doing fantastic. I retired 4 years ago. He retired 4 years ago as well.
Okay.
So he's been enjoying life basically. And to answer your question, if coming back, yeah, definitely he's gonna be in my corner. I mean, you cannot forget the person who was there from the beginning, the one that sacrificed him. Well, he sacrificed more than me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I think when you are a father and you have your child coming up and you're his trainer,
Yeah.
you sacrifice more than the kid does or the athlete does. So I definitely is gonna be in my corner.
Nice.
Okay, you mentioned Omar Chavez, Ramon Alvarez. How about two guys that fight tomorrow night, Friday night? There's a junior middleweight fight, Humberto Soto, Jesse Vargas. Any interest in facing the winner or maybe one of those guys?
Not really. I'll be honest, coming back to boxing, I didn't want to do it like typically it's done,
Yeah.
People do it still like 1919 when it's actually 2019.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you kind of needed a sort of like a hierarchy ladder. You needed a trainer, that needed a manager, that knew a promoter
Yeah.
that could set you up to a fight that would eventually connect you to the media, which was the only source of connection to the fans, right?
Yeah.
In 2019, the connection is direct. Hello, fan, you're right there.
Right.
What's up, buddy?
Social media, right
So
there,
somehow the middleman, shouldn't be as powerful as he is when
Yeah.
the reality is differently. So when it comes to your question, do I want to fight them? Not really, because in terms of somebody wanting to set up his own fights, or not set up his own fights, we do need promoters, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They need to promote fights. We do need managers that know about
Yeah.
law and protect you. But we do need to understand that fighters also have a big voice and big power in this. So when you ask me your question, to answer it directly, no, it's not interesting to me, because it's more interesting to me to be a voice for boxers. And fighters like Chavez or Inocente Alvarez or Victor Ortiz give me more exposure.
Yeah.
Maybe not more money. I'm not interested about that. Just more exposure to obviously expand the knowledge that I'm trying to portray, and more ears, more boxers could actually be happier in that sense.
Alfonso, let's go back to the Gatti fight.
Yeah. Where is he?
That man right there.
Right here. Yeah, Gotti. Hey, let me raise his hand up. There you go.
Alfonso, Gatti, for that fight, he handpicked you, okay? He handpicked you for that fight. It was pretty much set that he was going to fight Chavez Jr. next after that. Gatti was HBO's golden boy. The fight was in his home turf, Atlantic City. Mickey Ward was in his corner as a trainer to add to his storyline. All this against you, yet you were psyched, you were ready, and you retired him in a 7-round TKO. What can you tell us about that fight? Did Gatti tell you anything afterwards? And was this the best version of Afonso Gomez that we've seen?
Oh, man. Very good question. Wow, very impressive. Well, imagine this. I was a bit, not only a fan, he was my idol, because I've always admired that fighter that just put his heart there.
Yeah.
And as a Mexican fighter, I think he had Fight of the Year type many times, compared to other Mexican fighters who never get it. How is that possible? Mexican fighters are supposed to be the the warriors. But this guy, who's just an Italian, was able to just give you that. So I admire him so much, and I loved him so much. And when they told me I had to fight him, imagine the thrill and the surprise. And yes, of course, they handpicked me because it's business. They see me as the least threat, which, believe it or not, you've seen the resume. I fought all those champions because they always saw me as the weaker threat of all the ones around. And most of them, they failed, right? So, like Gatti, for example, because they saw me as a weakling. Anyway, so fighting him in the ring was awesome because my dream was always been to have Fight of the Year. So I thought I was finally gonna get it right there. And I promise you, there were instances when we were like exchange, and in my mind, I swear to you, there was like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You know, that whole people screaming and cuts everywhere, you know? Yeah. But he decided to box that fight. He decided to box me, move around, maybe because he's a bigger fighter, you know? You know how the game goes. And it never really happened. But overall, it was a great night, a great experience. I wouldn't say I was the best shape of my life, but I was just in the highlight of my life. You know, I saw him after the fight with his lip stitched up. We spoke, we traded words. He says he liked me in the contender. And I said I liked him in your fights. You know, it's like, oh my God, you're my idol. No, you're my idol. Picture. You know, so yeah, it was really cool.
That was definitely an impressive fight, man. You fought beautifully. I actually watched it recently, man, because I wanted to look back at some of your fights. That was definitely one that I saw, and I was impressed, man. Your counter-punching ability, slipping that jab, coming with the 45. You like to throw that? I love it, man. Coming right under. I mean, it was definitely an impressive fight, man. I mean, you always produce good fights, bro. Straight up. I mean, every fight you've been in, Gotti, whoever it's been with, I mean, it's exciting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is very exciting to be in those fights. I think that the fights that I feel are my best fights are the ones where I was able to develop something, right? In the previous fights before my last two fights, which Kamagai, you mentioned him, and Paredes, you know. Before that, it was more about training, whatever the trainer tells you. Okay. But suddenly something sparks in your brain and says, wait, I feel like I know something that you don't. You know? Are we allowed as boxers to say that to trainers?
Right, because obviously you're in the ring, right? And obviously you feel
this
the
is
punches.
This is part of the awakening, all right, guys?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to tell trainers, no, you're wrong?
Yeah.
Ooh, right? No. Trust me, they're wrong. You know? Yeah. And I'll tell you what, after retiring, I did my training real quick. You know, I'm going to switch it up. I did training. I started training people.
Yeah.
In order to tell people that don't know anything about boxing, how to box, I had to break it down. And here I find myself breaking boxing down to the math. I swear, you know, the real science.
To the simplest form. Yeah.
Like you have to explain it to a kid.
Yeah.
And come to realize, like, wait a second, nobody taught me this.
Yeah.
You know, nobody taught me these things that I'm teaching these people how to box, and how to become better fighters, how to block better, how to move. And all these things I had to learn, obviously, in the elite level. Fighting the elite fighters that I did, the 17 champions that I did, some help, some kind of knowledge stuck there that I'm able to say that a lot of trainers out there don't know much. You know, so are we allowed as fighters to tell trainers, can we do this, right? So that's one of the things that maybe it'll start waking some boxers and maybe creating some controversy. I don't know why, but I'm just saying. I sorry as we should questions.
I like that side, that boxer's perspective. It's good to get that fighter's perspective, and the whole training camp, man.
David was training.
I mean, I used to go through the same thing. I had a father and son. My father was my coach too.
There you go.
So I totally understand you, man. So I mean, it's definitely good.
We can definitely relate in terms of the father-child relationship.
Exactly. As long as that communication's there, I mean,
for real,
it should be good, right?
Alfonso, you know, we as fans of yours, we see the Gatti fight as your signature fight, right? Do you feel the same way, or do you feel that there's like another fight that lives right up there with the Gatti, like that's personal to you?
No, actually, I see them all as, you know, special somehow. Dude, imagine, I did fight Gatti and beat him, but you know, he also, for example, I beat and retired Jose Luis Castillo, and not only that, it was the Pacquiao undercard. Not only that, it was at the grand opening in Texas to the whole brand new stadium. Like, who gets that, for God's sakes, you know? and I knocked him out. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
50, 60,000
Yeah.
people there.
Hell yeah.
So that was wow, you know. Canelo, the whole tour we did, the rap I did to him.
Yeah, a lot of
the
people
whole
remember that rap,
experience in
bro.
the rap. That was amazing experience.
Yeah.
Who else? Cotto. You know, everybody booing me and calling me
Yeah, yeah,
names.
yeah.
And, dude, every experience,
man.
every fighter that I fought is an amazing experience, you know.
Speaking of the Cotto fight, you faced Cotto the Machine, the absolute best version in his prime of Miguel Cotto when he was trained by Evangelista.
He knows.
Exactly.
He knows his box. I've been talking to him, you know.
Yeah.
And the way he views boxing is not like regular people. I like him. Very good. You have yeah, good.
Thanks
Go.
for saying that, brother. Appreciate it. Now, the Cotto experience, talk about what it was like being in the ring with that version of him, because people don't understand how big of a monster this dude was when he was with that Evangelista. Before.
All I can tell you is like, I've never faced a tougher fighter in my life. You know, people ask me who hits harder, who like Canelo, Cotto. Like I really don't know. Can't really say. They both hit pretty hard, but Cotto was precise. Dude, this guy didn't throw as many punches, right? Because Canelo, Cotto, all the fighters hit me here, you know, everywhere. It's the whole body to be hit.
Yeah.
But Cotto, that guy, when he hit, he was like in the spot, right? Like wherever, like, oh shit, right?
Yeah.
Ooh. Very precise fighter, very accurate. Plus, I'm sure his power was, you know, very good. So for me, Cotto fighting in his prime and his best moments, definitely the best fighter I've ever fought, the toughest one.
Was he hard to hit? Because I mean, dude, he has that high guard where he's nice and tight. He's slipping punches. How was it trying to get him, man? 'Cause
I don't know. I can't
it was
remember.
tough,
I was in cloud. I was in cloud
Enjoy.
nine, bro. Shit, I was in his home. I was in cloud. What was it? Vegas? Where did I fight him? I can't remember. But yeah, it was an amazing experience fighting him. Very precise fighter, like great athlete, very quiet. I mean, he's a legend in Puerto Rico. Like, no kudos to him. And here's a trivia. You know, we were born the same day. Actually, I'm the 28th. He's the 29th of October, 1980. So kudos to my Scorpio buddy.
Right?
Yeah. Scorpio magic, definitely, brother. You know, the thing I've admired about Cotto was his jab and his left hook, of course. Did Miguel Cotto have the best jab of any fighter you ever faced? Would you say?
He had a good jab, you know, but I don't know. I mean, I'm being honest. I would say, yeah, it was a bad jab, but I'm just trying to picture fighters and moments of what I felt incredibly well. Who had a good jab? Soto Caras had a pretty good jab, I have to admit.
That's another war.
I was very surprised by his power because he had pretty good jab. Yeah. So if you ask me, I think Soto Caras had a better jab than what's his name, Cotto. But I guess as an overall fighter, you know who Cotto is, you know who Caras is. But definitely in terms of that single aspect in my career as my person, yeah, Caras had an amazing jab. Like not amazing, but surprisingly good. I want to say it like that.
Afonso, if there's one thing that we love to do here on HOB TV, celebrate anniversaries. This week marked the 17th anniversary of Mayweather versus Castillo, and I think we all agree here that Castillo earned that victory, right? Now, Afonso, you'd go on to face him and subsequently retire Jose Luis Castillo in your March 2010 fight. He was one of your boxing heroes. How was it like for you to retire one of your idols? Was it tough? How were your feelings? And I know you were ecstatic because of the win, but that was your hero right there. So.
Yeah, definitely. It was amazing, you know, to beat him, to fight him. And a lot of people say, you beat the man who beat the man, you know, like what?
It's the 17th anniversary of that fight.
Yeah, it was amazing to fight him, and to fight him in the undercard of Manny Pacquiao at the Texas Stadium, you know. In that time, I had my hair like Justin Bieber. I dyed it black. What the fuck was I thinking?
You're a rock star back then.
Yeah, dude. Not only that,
You're
that
at
was
the Texas Stadium.
not only that. You know what happened?
Right,
you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened, guys. Everybody, this is gonna be this trivia too. Nobody knows this. I was training in Oxnard with Sergio Martinez.
Maravilla.
You know, Maravilla.
Yeah.
So we did the whole things, and that was one of the fights where I had the best body, I have to admit. When I trained with his trainer, Cecilio. over there in Oxnard. One of the best bodies I had. I did the tan, everything Sergio did, I did. That's why that fight, I was like, my hair like this and shit. But I love that fight. That was tight.
Alfonso, one thing I always respected about you was your humility, even in defeat. You showed it early in your career in a contender. You gave Peter Manfredo well wishes in the locker room when he beat you. And when you defeated Castillo, you told him just how much he meant to you. Was there one fighter who showed you that same humility after a defeat or after any fight?
I like him. Yeah, man. Hey, if I ever start hiring people, I know where you are, homeboy. I swear. Dude, big kudos. Yeah. Oh, man. No, I don't think so. This is the thing. One of the things coming back to boxing, I'm going to apply it to your question, is that I want to change the mentality in a way. I'll help change the mentality a bit of boxers so they can find some sort of comfort and happiness somewhere in their brains, right? One of the things is that we tend to be too secluded, too mean, too prideful, One of the instances, I was sparring Brian Castaño. Brian Castaño was sparring him at Legends Boxing before one of his big fights. He had a championship fight. And he said, man, after the sparring, you're slow, right? But you're able to get me. How do you do it? You're not as fast. And I told him, it's about timing. And I started explaining to him the whole scenario of timing, blah, blah. And after that, my trainer said, hey, what do you tell him? Why? You might fight him one day. He might get you. Now. So this idea of that, and I told him, why? Because if I tell him an idea that he doesn't know that's going to make him a better fighter, oh my God, I am so happy because it's going to feed his family more. It's like... It's so thrilling to know that I'm helping him in a way, right? Even though he's gonna kick my ass, I don't care. It's that aspect of it. So to answer your question, they don't, because people don't have that, and there's nobody telling them they can't do that. So I'm telling you, boxer, you can go to the other fighter and tell him your secrets, make him a better fighter, make him a better version. If it's not applied to you because you're not disciplined, because whatever, that's okay. Yeah. Pass it on. He could be the one. Yeah. Don't be the. Everybody thinks they're the one, right? Yeah. I'm the one. Yeah. No. Somebody else could be the one, but you could be the one that makes him the one. How about that, dude? Just be real. Anyway.
That's a great story, brother. Alfonso, so we talked about Gatti, Castillo, Cotto, Canelo now. Alfonso, did you ever think at the time, when you were facing Canelo, that this 21-year-old kid that you were facing would go on to be the $300 million face of boxing? Did you ever think at that time, no?
No, I don't think anybody knows that. He's just a good fighter. Yeah. He's very disciplined. I know that about him. He seems very serious, for his age. Yeah. There's just different types of personality. He's able to be, I guess, like a soldier, told what to do. He does it properly. So kudos to him. I'm not like that. I'm more like a free-minded, open spirit here. I question everything, and which in essence has given me more liberty to expand other things. So
you definitely had your moments in that fight. Premature stoppage. I think we could agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the game. That's the business. It was my fault for not pushing it, understanding the business more. But that's how it goes. It's business. Even though a lot of people say I was winning on the scorecards.
Well, Alfonso, you've had a bit of bad luck in that there were fights, big fights, that you had signed but that fell through. We talked about Chavez Jr., Jesse Vargas. Is there another fight that fell through? Is there one fight out there that, looking back, you're like, man, I wish it could happen?
The one with Victor Ortiz. Jesse Vargas, no, I'm not interested in him. I mean, he's cool. I don't know much about him, but doesn't seem to be somebody that fits into my plans of expanding my presence online. Because my goal is to be maybe one of the first, if not the first, influencer boxer in the game. This is what I said yesterday, and I keep saying it. Boxers seem to, I don't know. I just want to be that voice that gives an opportunity. For example, if me and Caraz were doing this show, I'm sure it would be a lot more ratings for some reason. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. But we don't do it. Why? Because we're sleeping. They're sleeping. There's so many retired fighters right now that can have a podcast. Yeah. And have sponsorships and get associated with Mauricio, with WBC somehow. But I don't know. You know what? They're waiting. You know what they're waiting for? They're waiting for the trainer to tell them what to do. They're waiting for the manager to get him a fight. They're waiting for their promoter. They're waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
Because
what you're saying.
because after 20, 30 years of being waiting, telling what to do, how to train, and everything, we retired or we coming to an end and we're still waiting. Nah, man. Action, baby. Let's do a podcast. Who wants to do what other boxer out there
Afonso
that he
Gomez.
has, like big name that is retired wants to do a podcast with me?
There you go.
Simple as that.
You gotta make it
Simple.
happen. You gotta make things happen.
Send them the message, send them the emails.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll get in contact.
Easy, it's easy as that, and then we can make money and own our shit, own our stuff, own our name.
Talk boxing, something you guys know, something
Yeah.
you guys lived, something.
I'm just
You guys
saying,
are passionate about
but they're sleeping,
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
wake them up, right? Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Well,
go, let's
something along those lines, Afonso. Your contender castmate, fight mate, Sergio Moore is now a broadcaster. He does blow by blow with the zone.
Yeah.
You know, you're a bright, well-spoken, well-liked guy. Is that something you like to try yourself, broadcasting?
Definitely. I mean, I've been asked, "Whoo, you should go into broadcasting. Sé comentarista, mijo. Sé comentarista, mijo." Yeah, I mean, something interesting. I like it. I like getting all that stuff going. Yeah, totally. I like Sergio. Sergio's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, kudos to him. This La Latina Serpent Latin. Wait,
Land snake.
Land Snake. There you go. Sorry, Serge, I'm fucking up your name. But yeah, the Land Snake Mora. All right, there you go.
So we're gonna go into Afonso Gomez. We got some questions
Okay.
from members here at the boxing gym, some viewers.
Random questions.
Random questions. We're gonna go over these questions and we're gonna discuss them real quick.
All right.
And talk about what these questions are. So the first question that I'm pulling out, okay? First question is, guys, who in your opinion will be Triple G's next trainer? As you heard.
I think his next trainer should be himself. I'm sure he knows enough, right? If he needs somebody to like guide him through his own process,
Yeah.
through his own training. See, if he needs somebody to push him, I mean, he can get somebody he trusts. I'm gonna say. But when you ask me, does he need a trainer? I don't think so. He's fucking Triple G. His trainer need him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Triple
So
G,
there
of
is a
course.
question. There it
Of
is.
course.
Who do you say, David, real quick? Who's going to be
I
Triple
think
G's next
either
trainer?
Robert Garcia or Freddie Roach. I think those are the two guys that are the big names there. I mean, in Triple G situation.
Oh, yeah, in
it's
terms
big-
of
Triple G's-
business, let's
in
talk
terms of
business now.
Yeah,
in terms
exactly.
of business now, you do need
Exactly.
some name.
Yeah.
I think Freddie Roach would be the best person
Exactly.
for him to
Because
go
and at
to.
that stage, he's already an established fighter. He got his style. All you have to do is get him ready, and that'll definitely be a smart move for him to go with either
with Freddie Roach.
Yeah.
or
Totally.
Robert Garcia. Why not?
I think I would like.
I like Robert too. I trained with Robert for 2 fights, for the Caras fight,
Yeah.
for the Castillo fight. So yeah, Robert too. He has a great trainer too.
Oh, definitely. I would like to see Triple G link up with Buddy McGirt. He did some great things with Crusher Kovalev. He turned a puncher into quite a boxer, and the footwork was different. Looking like a gazelle out there, Crusher Kovalev in his last fight. Kovalev and Triple G are homies or buddies, so I like to see Triple G link up with Buddy McGirt.
Yeah. Okay, so our next question is going to be, what did you think this past Saturday, Khan suffering that low blow? Do you think he was quitting?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's just praise Khan. He goes into the ring, makes this big promotion, makes everyone happy. If you think about it, his loss made what's this other fighter's name?
Crawford.
Yeah, Crawford. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Walter. Yeah, Crawford made him look like even a bigger superstar. So thank you, Amir Khan, for making Crawford look like a superstar. Why put him down? I mean, to the low blow, I don't know. He's the one that felt it.
Exactly.
I wish somebody of the people that say that can come here and I can, as a boxer, professional boxer, we know how to hit, homie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna graze your balls, dog, and
Yeah.
just tell me how you feel.
Exactly.
I'm gonna graze. I'm not really gonna hit him. I'm just gonna graze him. That's it. And you
Yeah.
tell me how you feel.
Man, I agree with you 100%, man. I mean, as a fighter, only he knows what he felt, right? Being hit down there is definitely something different. And the way the fight was going, he was going to need those legs, right? to keep moving. So, I mean, in order for him to understand the business side and earn himself another payday, I think it was a smart move on the behalf of his
No,
coach.
did he
And for
quit?
him-
Okay, answering directly that question, because
Yeah.
people still focus on the quitting aspect of it.
Yeah,
Now, I'll ask you, I'll flip the question.
yeah,
Was he a smart person to realize that he has a family waiting for him?
Exactly.
That he has a
Yeah.
business to run.
Of course.
People that depend on this because he
And
doesn't
he's-
have
and
he
he's-
doesn't have a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
He has a multi-million-dollar business, and they depend on the Amir Khan name,
course.
right?
And
Was
he's-
he a smart person to decide to not continue?
Yeah.
Was he smart about maybe creating controversy, making his name bigger? More people are talking about Khan than Walter. Trust me.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I agree, man.
job,
it was
Khan.
it was a good move, man. And he's shown in his past fights, he'll go out. I mean, look at Canelo fight. Danny, he's shown in his past fights.
That's good.
that-
I mean, let him be a smart businessman. What's
I
the
agree.
problem with that? I don't
I
hate him on
agree.
that.
I
Nobody
don't
said
either.
that you have to die in the ring.
No.
Nobody said that you have to be stupid. And this is part of the awakening to the boxers. Don't be
Yeah.
stupid. Nobody says that you have to be there and suffer.
Yeah.
If you don't see it as part of your business plan, like, dude, all right, just fine. Get payday. We'll see another day. We'll
Yeah.
figure another fight, right? What's the problem with that, for God's sakes?
I like that answer, man. I agree with you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff, brother.
All right, so look, we're gonna go into our last question.
Final question.
Okay.
Alfonso. All right, our last question, Alfonso. What's your prediction for Canelo versus Jacobs, next week's big pay-per-view fight? Well, actually, it's not. It's their zone, right? So, I mean, if you have the zone app, you're able to watch that fight. Canelo Jacobs, your prediction?
I don't know. Canelo.
Canelo?
Yeah.
How? What do you think? Is it going decision? Is you think
Honestly,
Jacobs
dude,
has the
honestly,
boxing skill to?
I say Canelo, or Jacobs.
It's that kind of fight. I mean,
Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter, honestly.
yeah. Yeah.
But I think that, if you think about it, didn't Jacobs fought Sergio Mora?
Yes.
And he got dropped by
Yeah.
Sergio Mora?
Yes. So
And
he
Sergio
does.
Mora does not have, too much
Yeah,
power.
he does have a questionable chin. Jacobs does have a questionable
And you
chin.
put him against Canelo. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
going to go by math. I'm going to go say that Canelo wins. By knockout? Yeah, by knockout.
By knockout. Later rounds, early rounds, and early stoppage. What do you think?
Later.
Later rounds.
Yeah, because
okay.
the other guy's gonna move. He has to move.
Yeah,
He knows
exactly.
he has a weaker chin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the matrix. So he has a weaker chin. So
Yeah.
he probably figures out that he's gonna be boxing him.
Yeah.
And then Canelo eventually has to cut the ring,
Mm-hmm.
get those big blows, and guess what? He usually lands them.
Yeah, exactly. I agree, man. I agree. It's gonna be a great fight. Like you said, Jacob's gonna have to box, but he tends to want to stay there at times, and his pride gets a hold of him, and he wants to try to bang like he did with Triple G at times, which I
Triple G
think will
dropped
cost
him
him.
too.
Triple G dropped him, and I think that'll be his downfall in this fight. Him trying to stay there, getting tired because he tends to get tired at the end of the fight. I think Canelo will end up catching him, man. Canelo's gonna go to the body early, slow him down, and catch him over top with one of those hooks, those overhand rights he throws. I mean, it'll be a great fight, though.
That's it. Alfonso, thanks again for joining us tonight. Very inspiring words, man. Great stories,
Exactly.
great
No
stuff.
problem. Thank you. You're amazing. Let me tell you. I tend to usually talk, and people just stay listen. But you know how to guide the show very well. So you're gonna see him bigger. Him too.
Oh, yeah.
He's part
Oh,
of
yeah.
this whole project. He's when you think of House of Boxing, remember his face.
Hey, come
all
on.
right,
Let's
that's
go.
it. You should brand your face like this.
Let's go.
Thank you for
Okay.
joining us.
No problem.
Thanks for your
And
inspiration.
also, where can people follow you so
Oh,
they
yeah.
can stay connected with you?
Dude,
And hopefully
follow
stay
me.
tuned for that
Follow
future
me.
podcast.
Follow me on my future podcast.
Hey,
yeah.
come on, let's
At El Gomez Boxing.
Okay.
And on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, El Gomez. Basically, just follow me. We want to grow this. We want to grow this knowledge I'm trying to spread.
Yeah, I like it.
You could be part of the roots that start spreading it. Why not?
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt.
So again, thank you again, Alfonso, man.
No
We
problem.
truly
Thank you.
appreciate
Pleasure,
it, man.
It's awesome.
If
It
you
was
guys
awesome
are
meeting you.
watching for the first time, or if you guys are our continued viewers here, go ahead and leave a comment. If you guys want to see who Afonso Gomez fights next, you guys want to throw out some names, leave some comments. Make sure to follow our boy Afonso Gomez. Stay tuned next time for next week's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, guys.